Yeah, it's been a little bit surreal. It's been an exciting time. I'm not going to lie. It's probably going to hit a little bit more after this NZMBL season, but yeah, I'm just really excited. It was always a plan to get into coaching post career and to have an opportunity like this pop up straight out of playing career. Something really exciting, and I'm pumped to get back into Tassie.
When did you make the call, I suppose? Was there an option there for you to play if you wanted to? Was there offers from elsewhere, or did you just feel like this was it for you?
I always wanted to stay with the club. That was always our plan. Once we got down here and immersed in the culture of not just the club but all of Tasmania. Me and my family love it down here, and like I said, when this opportunity came up, I jumped at it, and yeah, just pretty keen to get it all running. Signing, I guess this early. I'm pretty keen for pre-season to start, which is a nice change of pace.
I guess it didn't come up until JC decided to leave. Is that when the talk started with you, and did you have to go through a rigorous process, or they knew enough about you, I suppose, that they were happy just to put you on as an assistant coach?
Yeah, I was always going to be involved with the club and try and learn off these guys. I've been doing a lot of work with the three assistant coaches of last year throughout the year, and just preparing myself for what was post basketball. And yeah, obviously Chancey leaving opened up that spot in the coaching staff, and yeah, got a call from Rothy that he was interested, and yeah, like I said, I just jumped right at it.
We saw we had to get a few injury replacements last year. Do you leave the door slightly ajar and keep yourself match fit in case an opportunity like that does come up at some point?
I don't think the days of NBL assistant coaches suiting up is still upon us. So no, it's just a retirement, and yeah, onto my next bigger role.
Thanks, mate. I'll throw to someone else. I might come back to you. Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, Jarrad, it's Tom here from Seven. Mate, have you had any coaching experience before, or is this the first gig for you?
I've had a little bit of coaching experience in the juniors. I've done some stuff, with some college kids and things like that, guys trying to go to college and preparing them with skill development and things like that. Like I said, I did a lot of work with the assistant coaches last year in preparation for this. So a little bit, behind as far as it's a bit weird to go back to being a rookie after being a veteran in the league. So yeah, it's something I'm excited. It's going to be a large learning curve to sort of see the other side of basketball. And yeah, I just can't wait to get stuck in.
And to just sort of take a bit of a notice of how Scott Roth went about his coaching in the couple of years you were playing, over the years, have you sort of had one eye, I guess, on how, the pros do it at this level?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been lucky enough to play for a few teams and some of the greatest, basketball coaches that the NBL's seen. So to be able to compile all those ideas and thoughts and the way they go about things, and Scott was just another one to add to that list. Very deserving coach of the year. And yeah, I like the way he does things. I like the way, he has his pace at practice, and there's no wasted time. So I've learned a lot from him the last 2 years.
Would you say has been the most influential, or are there maybe other ones who have also given you a few ideas of how you want to go about your coaching career?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most influential. Like I said, I've had some great minds that I've tried to piece things together with. You're not 100% agreeing with everyone, but what I can take from all those coaches, and obviously Rothy's the one that's closest to mind. We have a very similar defensive philosophy. I spoke to him a lot when I first came to the Jack Jumpers about his way of basketball and how he views the game, and he's obviously big into the culture side of things, which I highly value. I think that's a great part of Australian sport, and one that can be underutilized and has been underutilized in this league before. So yeah, trying to carry that culture forward and try and get back into the playoffs this year, hopefully.
And you mentioned Scott sort of gave you the call and flagged his interest in you. What did that mean to you to know that he was, I suppose, scouting for you in a way?
Oh, it means a lot. I told him that when I got the call. He's obviously in the States, and for me to be the first point of call was a really cool thing. He knew that I wanted to get in coaching. Obviously, I said I've been working with these guys for the last 2 years now, and yeah, for him to have me as my first point of call, especially after someone of Chancey's pedigree left, yeah, huge compliment.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Jarrad. I'll hand it over to someone else now.
Weeksy, hey, Tom Hirsch here, NBL Media. How you doing, mate?
Tommy,
Just want to ask, is there a particular role that Scott has in mind for you in your first year? We have a particular focus, defensive side, offensive side, player development, or is it just really kind of learning the ropes in your first season?
it's a little bit of everything. We've had some chats about it. Probably more focused on the offensive side this year with all that stuff. And like I said, just learning, getting some reps up with cutting tape and developing scouting reports. I've been doing a little bit of that, but just continuing to learn and get better at that and more fluid with it all. And then obviously the skill development side with the vitamins in the morning and being involved in all the things that assistant coaches are involved in.
Great. And, you've always been a pretty selfless player throughout your career. So how will you kind of take some of those traits, I guess, and bring them towards coaching to try and get the best out of this group?
Yeah, just trying to push guys as much as I can. I was always trying to be the hardest worker at practice and to try and involve, pass on that philosophy and the way I see basketball. Obviously being involved with, five clubs in the NBL, to be able to tell these younger kids, how I was able to keep my job in the league. Obviously most teams will have the import point guard, so that kind of cuts the jobs in half in the NBL. So just telling them my journey and helping them along with theirs.
Great. And lastly, I mean, and you've mentioned this not just today, but earlier that you've loved your time in Hobart and you didn't really see yourself moving away. And you mentioned this morning that you were going to find a role within the club. What is it about the Jack Jumpers culture and Hobart especially that wants to keep you and your family there?
I think you hit the nail on the head. It is the culture. It's the family vibe of the club. It's something that can be seen all over the state. All of Tasmania's jumped on the Jack Jumpers, and that's something really cool. To continue to build the community of basketball all throughout the state is something I'm excited to do. Even in the old players chat yesterday, we have a vision of someone in deep North Queensland with a Joshua Jet Jack Jumpers jersey on. So to be able to spread that and to keep the club growing is something I'm excited to be part of.
Great. Thanks, mate.
Weeksy, I might jump in. Chris here from ABC. Congratulations on the new gig. I'm interested in the dynamic between going from being a teammate of some of these guys to now being an assistant coach and telling them what to do on the court. Is that something that you're prepared for, I suppose, that little change up in dynamic? Yeah, absolutely. It's something I've been thinking about a lot, especially since getting the call from Scott, working with those guys a lot to try and build that dynamic. Obviously, I'm going to use it as a positive. I have a great relationship with these guys. I love playing with these guys and to take it to the next level and be able to teach and, being in that vice captain leadership role for the last 2 years, I think, put me on a good step forward and, just continuing to grow that and develop those relationships. And you must have a good sense in terms of how players like to be coached. So, player A might like this approach, player B might prefer this sort of approach coming in, which will obviously make your job a fair bit easier. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's an ever-growing relationship. Guys change and, they go off in the off season and they see a coach do something different. They like that, or they, prefer one way over the other. And, that changes. So to be able to continue to build my relationship with those guys, but especially the new guys coming in, it's something I'm really looking forward to. Thanks, Matt. Cheers.
Weeksy, retiring from all forms of basketball, is there a sniff you could play for the Chargers, for example, next season? I know it's a long way away and a lot of water to go under the bridge, but are you sort of pulling the pin on everything?
Like you said, mate, that's a long way away from me right now. I'm continuing to play my NZNBL and focusing on the Jack Jumpers as well at the moment. And then, like I said, we'll cross that bridge if and when we get to it.
Obviously, we're waiting on the Milt announcement either way, but with that last Aussie domestic spot, do you have any idea what you'd like to see come into the club?
Yeah, we're looking at a couple guys. Like I said, there's a lot of good talent in the NBL1, the NZNBL for local guys. It's definitely stepped up in these last couple of years. You can tell the young guys definitely have a much higher ceiling than the past generation, which includes me. So excited to. We got some guys in mind, and we're just in the middle of the process of seeing which way we're going to go.
And you said you look after the offense. Obviously, Jet was a big part of that. Is that someone you'd love to have back out there controlling things in that regard?
I mean, I think everyone would love a Josh McJett in their team. Yeah, like I said, there's talks of imports right now. I kind of signed a little bit too late to kind of influence, or most of those talks had already been done by the time I'd signed. So we're looking at imports in a couple of positions, and yeah, we're just gonna have to see where it falls.